Hello everyone, this is Damien, and we are getting started on lesson number 4, and we are going over our interest calculator. And where I left it at last time was not looking very much like a calculator at all. So we type in $1,000, 8% for 2 years, and I've made it look a little bit more like that, just using some creative output, but still not looking right. I mean, this doesn't line up underneath the column we set up for starting amount, and it's still, frankly, I mean, it looks a little bit like money, because we're forcing it to, and I kind of wanted to go over what we were doing here. So, okay. We've included a library called Iomanip, and we have taken some members from it. And I actually I coded this before the video because I had a recording of it before that didn't work out so well. I went off on a really long tangent. So in this case, we have a couple of different things. We have a thing here inside of a cout called set iOS flags, and I set show point to be enabled. And there's also another one that I should do called set iOS flags. Oops. And this time we're going to do iOS fixed. So let's talk a little bit about what each of these actually means. And this next line, set precision to, also means something. So set iOS flags show point means that we are always going to show the decimal point. Even if the number is 1, it will show up as 1.00 because the precision is set to 2. Equally, fixed means that we are going to show a fixed number of places after the decimal point. So if we just use fixed and we don't set the precision, it shows 5 places after the decimal point, which I guess is the standard for scientific notation. Don't quote me on that. I'm not a scientist, but I have a friend who is, who tells me that that's pretty standard. So that said, we run this and go ahead and we do 1008 and 2, and we still do get a couple of weird things. So the reason why is the set precision is not in the right spot. So if we do like this, oops, I'm putting in semicolons where they should not be. Something like that. Then we should get our percentages looking like percentages and our money looking like money. So that's good. Now we still have the issue that these aren't lining up, and we can do that. We can change this by doing something like this, where we go and maybe we have, I don't know, 8 or 9 more spaces there, but that's kind of, I don't like doing it that way. But I mean, we could get it to line up, but there is actually a code in Iomanip that we can use to kind of make that a bit more standard, and it's called setW. And basically, setW puts in a user-defined number of blank space. So in this case, let's say we wanted to do 8. And we'll copy, actually, I need to do that the other way. And we'll copy that down so it's in our couts and it lines up at least somewhat well. There we go. Okay, that's why that wasn't looking quite correct. I like to have my couts kind of line up so I can see, that all the stuff is done equally. So we'll give that a run and try it again. And we're still, I don't know, 3 spaces off, so we can just change these set W8s to 11. Let's see if that lines up a bit better. And now I'm a space or 2 off. So this is also one of the primary reasons why I like to figure this stuff out before I record a video, so I'm not just tinkering while you guys watch on. Okay, good. So that first column's matching up now, and you know, you can go through and sort of tinker with this, but in general, it shouldn't take you too long to get these appropriately lined up. I mean, ooh, I actually screwed up and did that before the percentage sign. So yeah, I mean, honestly, I'll post a working bit of source code on this, but it shouldn't take a super long time to get this figured out. But yeah, that's what set W does, that's what set precision does, set iOS flags, iOS show point, and iOS fixed. It's just going to control the number of decimal places that you get. I'll cut the video for a couple minutes while I figure out those space offsets. Alright, so it's good that I saved you guys some time there. The offsets were 10, 11, 16, and I had to edit a space out of that last one. So the way it looks now when you give it a run is we enter in 1,000 as our starting capital, 8% APR for 3 years, and that's kind of our output there. So again, it's kind of formatted into nicer columns. And again, I mean, this will make a bit more sense when we start getting into code that generates table with loops and stuff like that. So we'll be revisiting Iomanip, especially set W, and maybe to a lesser extent the iOS flags, fixed show point, and the set precision, which actually goes inside the couts. So aside from that, I don't think that there's anything super important to take away from this lesson. So I'm going to wrap it up, keep it short. If you guys have any questions about Iomanip as a library, or any questions about this assignment overall, I know that I definitely put a lot of emphasis onto what we can do with couts. One of the things that I feel like I have never mentioned about cout, but kind of expected you guys to pick up sort of by example, is that you can't have a string as well as a variable within the same thing. Like, you can't do something like, I can't do dollar and then principal, because it will just say principal there. So whenever you need to switch in between actually saying something like starting amount and then doing you know, an output or a set W, you do need to have a little the 2 little O-stream operators there. So yeah, aside from that, I think that this is all fairly self-explanatory. I know that it got a little hardcore on the outs, but any questions, post them. Homework is the same as lesson 3. If you know, think that this is needing a rework, do let me know.